So let's talk about funding. Um, for me, I funded this album independently. Um, that's what happened. Um, I chose not to crowdsource. I chose that mainly because I I didn't want my brand to be associated with crowdsourcing. That was a choice I made.
Crowdsourcing is just like what it sounds like.
Yeah, can you define crowdsourcing?
Kickstarter,
Okay.
GoFundMe, stuff like that.
Indiegogo,
GoFundMe, it's a website.
It's like
GoFundMe.com.
basically raising money.
It's
raising money from your fans in order to record it,
Yeah.
Yep.
in order to cover the costs.
Yeah, and it's a lot of them are right now are websites that people are putting out on social media to garner $5, $10, $20, $100, $1,000, from multiple people towards a campaign. And I chose not to do that, largely because I didn't want my brand to be associated with crowdsourcing, which meant I had to take on the costs independently. And For the Hunts was an investment that I probably won't have the kind of return on in the next year at all. I spent way more on the album than what I might get back from it monetarily. But because the project that I was doing was to launch my brand as an independent artist, and I knew that no one knew me as that, I knew that I needed to plant a seed in terms of investment in order to put out the kind of product that I wanted that was going to represent who I am and what I wanted to be known for as, without asking my uncles or my friends to be a part of that. I think that sometimes there's a stigma around it, and I'm not going to go down all the negatives because that's just not what I want to waste time on, but it was a choice that I made to fund it independently.
So do you think it's more of a negative thing to crowdsource?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I chose not to do it.
It's just a personal choice.
It was a personal choice.
Do you think you would do that down the road?
Maybe. A big reason why I didn't do it, honestly, was because I don't have a fan base. And I knew that I would be asking my family and my friends who are maybe financially in the same boat or worse than the Hunts are. And so I just didn't feel comfortable with that. Maybe in some time, and I have years down the road, and there's a larger fan base that I have that I could pull from, I might do a crowdsourcing thing, but I didn't do it for this project.
I'm sorry. So you feel more comfortable that maybe with a larger fan base that you could get your money back to them.
I think also the industry right now is in a place where crowdsourcing is hot.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
People are doing it. I also think the market is very saturated in that everybody's doing it. I know people who have crowdsourced for in vitro. I know people who are crowdsourcing to pay for college tuition,
It's whatever.
for medical bills, for
Yeah.
whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? So the market, I think, is very, very saturated with people who are crowdsourcing. And I think that there is an attitude developing about it. And so I don't know if it's going to be here in a few years. Do you know what I'm saying? But if it is, would I do it if I had a different fan base? I think I would. But I just chose not to for this. I needed to establish myself with my brand. And I don't think I'm established enough. Even if I do it, the next project that I do, I don't think I'm still established enough to do it. But you have crowdsourced. And so talk about some
I'm
of your
crowdsourcing
experiences.
right now.
Yeah. Talk about your experiences.
Yes, I'm working on a worship album right now, and it's a little bit different because it's the first full length praise and worship album I'm working on, and it's for me, not for somebody else, which is kind of Cool. And I was like, man, I got invited to come down to, anybody familiar with South by Southwest, that festival? I got invited to come down to the South by Southwest Festival and kind of do the only like official praise and worship session that they had there. And I was like, all right, so I got to get down there. I want to release an EP just to kind of like, you know, kickstart this and show people who I am in that realm. And I already have people that kind of follow me from my production that I've done with other artists and then like little small things I've done here and there over the years. And I was like, well, it's gonna cost a lot of money to get this stuff going on, and I still have expenses and bills and overhead here. And I was like, well, maybe I'll allow people to get involved. I didn't really expect to get much from it, but what was donated like helped me get down there, helped me kind of produce and press a 4-track EP, and it was pretty good. But the only thing with those things is they like GoFundMe, they take a pretty large percentage of what you raise, so it's never going to be what you think it is.
But some you really want to avoid.
Yeah.
Is there a percentage that GoFundMe takes? Like, do they tell you that?
They don't tell you that up front.
They don't tell
They don't
you
tell
the
you that up
percentage?
front. When you try to withdraw it, you just notice that, hey, this is less than what I thought I was gonna, yeah.
Wow.
I think
Yeah.
also with one of the sites, like if you don't raise a certain amount, like if you set your goal and you don't raise it, then you don't get any.
That's Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Does that.
GoFundMe is not that way, but
Wow.
Kickstarter's that way.
Puts the money directly into like your bank account.
Yeah.
At GoFundMe. But they take like, what is it, like 2% of it?
It's a little bit more than 2%. It was I felt like robbed. It was egregious.
Right.
I did a crowdfunding last summer, and I got funded on Kickstarter. And they tell you up front it's 8%.
Yeah.
They tell you up front. So if you're planning to raise money and you need a certain amount, add that in. Add in the amount they're gonna take.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
Absolutely. It's good
That's good.
advice. And also there are other things like Venmo. Anybody heard of Venmo? There's an app, Venmo, which pretty much like anybody can, transfer money to like a specific account, and it takes about a day for it to go in. They don't take any fees or penalties, so something to keep in mind. Venmo if you're trying to, I guess raise money.
I have a question. How do you get paid, like with the different vehicles? What's the process?
Like with crowdsourcing?
No, like
normal sessions.
going back up to a producer. My question
Okay.
just came through. How you actually get paid?
As a producer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, like from,
Physically.
I mean,
I
for
wrote
one,
direct
like if
check.
you're engineering, if you're engineering a session, you get paid, for how much you're charging, like for the session, you get paid. You can get paid upfront for like doing production on a project. If it's something that somebody's going to be released, you can kind of talk publishing and all that other stuff in the back end business that nobody really enjoys discussing and talking about, but it's super necessary,
Right.
especially now since things are independent. But mostly, you get paid up front.
There's like cash, check.
Yeah, I have I got Venmo, I've got Chase Quick Pay, I've got the PayPal, Swipe, all of those things, the Square, everything.
When I was on tour, I used a Square for
Yeah.
people to pay for CDs.
Are those, do they take a percentage or? how do
A
you-
little bit,
A little bit.
a little bit. Let me see.
Square's really convenient
It's like
though.
1.5%. The square is really low. It's
Yeah.
0.8 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or when we first got it.
terminal fee or something?
It's
Yeah.
really low.
Terminal fee?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a PayPal one that I used for South by Southwest, and
3%.
yeah, and they sent me like a free like reader, like it took like a day to get there, so
Yeah.
it was pretty cool. Yeah.